Good morning, everyone, once again. I'm here to talk on a topic that you might have already known about, that is ethics, values, and morals, how they play important role in our life. So I have connected on a short notice, but I have a presentation with me on the relevant topic because I keep on taking sessions on this very topic more often. So that's good to know for me also that I have all the content with me. But I think that this particular topic, if we talk in general terms, it is not about teaching someone through books or through presentations. This is something that we learn from experiences that we get inherited from our family as well as the society in which we live. And these three elements that we call ethics, values, and morals, they play most essential role in our life and they help us to become a good human being. So let us have a little bit discussion about all these elements. And if you have anything in your mind, we can also discuss that side by side during the session because this is a very prominent topic, we can say that, and everyone may have their own thoughts about all these three elements. So starting with, since we have already talked that these three elements play role in building a good human being, so how each one of them may be effective in our life, let us see that. First of all, because we are associated to education system somehow, all of you are teaching students, and we are responsible for producing a new generation that can contribute in national building. So how we are able to do that? If we impart a value education in their life, and we not just try to make them aware about technical aspects of life or their education or the curriculum, but the personal growth aspects are also equally important. And I personally also feel that the current generations need to learn more about behavioral education, value education, some beliefs that make them a good human being, and they can, instead of living a life that they value themselves only, they can become a valuable member for the society and for the nation as well. And while doing this, what we need to do is, first we need to find a way to create some better experiences for them. And how we can do that? Because as a teacher, we create some examples in front of them. So instead of teaching those things to them through some books or maybe some ppts, the first thing is that we try to impart these kind of values, these kind of, we can say, qualities in our personal life first of all. Because whatever we are going to reflect to our students, in the similar manner they are going to behave. So considering the requirements of individuals as well as organizations, we need to make several decisions on this aspect, because in everyday life we go through several ups and downs. There are very critical instances through which we have to go through, and in those situations, if we are able to make a decision between right and wrong, that describes how we live our life and what our destiny may be. That particular difference between right and wrong is going to make entire change in our life. And this is how one person differs from other, how our instinct guides us, how we listen to our soul, and how we react when we are in some critical situation. All these things matter with our mental balance, how we are balanced inside. Accordingly, we reflect that outside. When this value education element is added into life, it helps us, or we can say specifically students, to become more responsible and sensible. They can learn about what they are here made for. It is, when we talk about a human nature, most of the time, especially in the current generations, if we can say, when people are getting too occupied in their life, they are too busy with whatever they do in day to day things, they are forgetting that they have some responsibilities as well. More precisely if I say, हम अपने अधिकारों के प्रति ज्यादा सोचते हैं रादर देन कि हमारे कर्तव्य क्या हैं, हम उसके बारे में सोचें. And that thing makes a major difference, that how we deal with the society and how we contribute for the betterment of others, because everyone is working for the betterment of self. People are always busy thinking about themselves, but once you know the responsibility, once you are sensible enough to understand how you can contribute for the nation building, then in actual terms we are living a life that is useful for, and we can say that a successful life with a responsible citizen tag, we can say. And these elements, if they are available in day to day life, they can help students or everyone to develop better relationships with their family members, their friends, and they can also have better thoughts within, because once they are happier with the things that are happening around, with their relationships, with their perspective of life, they are naturally going to have more positive thoughts inside, and accordingly their actions will be guided further. Whenever we are dealing with different consequences in life, it is going to create some learnings for us. And if it is a part of our growth journey, we are naturally going to create some bright futures, because we have a sound, we can say, foundation that is supported by value education, and it is going to create a better future for students as well as for everyone who is working around. There are plenty of things when we talk about human values, uh, in different essays, in different books, in different articles, you will find a lot of numbers listed within these human values. These All these elements are closely associated to the overall quality of our life, and these human values are automatically connected to how we feel towards certain situations, what attitude we have to deal with different scenarios, and what beliefs we carry in our day to day life. And all these things that have a major role in building our mindset, in building our thought process, is naturally going to become a driver of our actions. How we deal with different societies, how we deal with cultures, how we deal with while we are at different places, all these things are inspired from our human values, the ability to do right and being accepted in the society, or how we attract the respect, dignity, and a kind of significance among other people around us. All these things depend upon how we carry on our human values. These human values are not supposed to follow some typical laws of physical science, or we cannot say that there is a specific set of rule book that we have to follow. But yes, there are some things that we need to keep in mind every time when we react in different situations, because how we react is going to affect our state of peace, our state of mind. If we react to every situation with a lot of anger, or we can say that some sudden actions, if we take against certain situations, they can often lead to some problems, or they can cause some troubles in our life or maybe in others life. But when we deal with situations with enhanced balance in our mind, we create peace ourselves, for ourselves as well as for people around us. While talking about these human values, I mainly focus on these five elements. for our generations, we have heard about all these five elements right from our childhood. If you have seen some mythological series like Mahabharata, Ramayana, or you have read some books or the spiritual books we have on that describe all these elements, you might be very much aware of them. They, I must say, they create an eternal essence for us, and this leads to further the highest expression of life. If we are able to balance in terms of these five elements, we can live a quality life automatically. And these elements are present in almost all religions, cultures, and society in equal manner. But the only problem is that how well we as a human being realize them and how well we follow these elements, that is going to make change in the life of every person. So starting with the first one, truth, or we call satya. So our elders, our grandparents, they always teach us one thing, that we should be truthful in our life. Whatever we say, how we present ourselves, we should be truthful every time. And it automatically leads to several other values such as accuracy, fairness, how honest we are with others, because a person who is truthful, people can trust him. But if one person who always keeps on speaking some fake things, or we can say that we don't have a trust that he is presenting the right himself, or he is presenting the right information about the surroundings, so people start losing faith in that type of people. That is why we always say that one should present his thoughts or his whatever information you are giving to other, it should be presented in fairness. Whatever knowledge you have about anything, whether it is about your career, whether it is about your personal life, whenever you come in front of life, in front of other people, try to be fair enough. Learn to speak truth, because it is going to form your character among people around you or in front of society. And when you have a strong character, you are automatically valued by other people. People try to spend more time with you because they have trust in you and they can believe in whatever you reflect. On the other side, if you keep on telling lies, people are generally going to feel some confusion in mind about your personality, and it sometimes also leads to some antisocial behavior, because people start creating nuisance with these type of lies, and it further affects the entire social life. On the other side, a person who is always truthful, who speaks the actual facts, is automatically going to have more confidence to achieve their goal of life, and it automatically leads to more peace of mind. And the person who has peace of mind is the only person who knows the purpose of life and who can do best in almost every aspect or in every sphere of life, because it is just the peace of mind that guides your spirit, that guides your entire destiny. No matter how much money you have, no matter how much knowledge you have, or whatever facilities you have in your day to day life, if you don't have that peace of mind, you are not able to reflect a quality life. We several times say, you might have heard people that it is not true that if we don't have money we will be happy, or people mostly count their happiness with the amount that they have in their pockets or in their banks. Although I agree that money is also important, because we live a rat race kind of life in present world. You have to pay for everything. Whatever you need to buy for your home, you have to raise your children, you have to ensure survival of your entire family. So yes, money is important, but along with that, or I must say, more important than that is peace of mind, because a person who has balanced mindset, who has more peace inside, is able to make right decisions even if there are some ups and downs in life. They are more happier internally. So if there are some sudden downfalls in the outer side, they can be more balanced in that situation as well. They can understand the importance of right and wrong, how they have to make decision between some critical situations. But if a person who is more challenged with his mindset, or maybe who is always in either some excitement or in some anger, or doesn't have that peace of mind, will not be able to live with that ultimate goal of life. They will not be able to identify the real purpose of life, even if they have all the facilities, if even if they have everything. So one example I can say is that we often say that rich people may have all the happiness in their life, but you might have observed that many people who are earning maybe crores or lakhs in their day-to-day life, they are having certain major medical issues, and doctors say that they cannot eat all type of food. They are restricted to certain kind of diet. We can say like they are allowed to eat dalia only, or they are allowed to eat only yellow dal. So that type of people also exist. They have everything, they have every facility in their house, they have use amount that they can have enjoy a variety of food, but then their health doesn't permit that. On the other side, you may see that several people who are daily wages, they have limited income, they just earn every day and spend every day. They don't know what they have to do next day. If you see kids at their home, or uh, whoever they are working in some construction site, the kids are also playing around, you will see a real happiness on their face. So we are not saying that we need not to make effort for money because it is going to ruin something. This is not true. But yes, you need to know that how you can attain a peace of mind in whatever situation you are, because we never know when what will happen in our life. Maybe in few years you may earn lakhs of money, or maybe sometime we have a sudden loss and we have nothing in hand. But in both those situations, how we maintain our mindset, how we maintain a peace of mind, and how we stay connected with our conscious, that matters. And that creates the real difference in life. Then we go ahead with the second element, that is right conduct, that we also call dharma. This is about living a moral and ethical life where you have a standard for every decision that you make. That decision should not be inspired from maybe self benefit, or maybe a specific profit that you will gain, but it is about how accurately you create a difference between the right and wrong situations, and then how you react to save yourself from falling down. It contains variety of values inside, such as self-help skills, modesty, self-reliance, hygiene, social skills that also include good manners, behavior, and environmental awareness, some ethical skills such as courage, efficiency or initiative, punctuality or ownership, etc. There are variety of things that you have in right within this single word that we call right conduct, and it is going to help you build a personality, a solid personality that can be recognized in the society, and in the and you can be more confident when you are there for the public speaking. I have often seen people who are very knowledgeable and who have done so much in their life, but when it comes to public speaking, they have some fear in their mind. They are not able to face the public. But what I have observed in my life is, I must say it from my experiences, if you have right conduct, if you have not done something wrong to someone, you are naturally more confident, because you have that confidence inside that you have not done anything wrong to anyone, or you have not taken some wrong decisions that could harm others. So you have that confidence that no one can point a finger on you, and that confidence builds a strong personality. So even if you are on a stage and you are addressing thousands of people, you have a courage to look into their eyes, because you don't have a fear inside. The right conduct takes away all the fear from your heart and mind, and you feel more confident to look into the eyes of other people, and you can talk to them with that level of confidence, because you know that you are right, and you have not compromised your conscious or your inner peace for some fake things around. And that enlightenment that we have inside is automatically going to make you feel more satisfied in every situation of life. This right conduct is also associated to wisdom and compassion. You are going to be more compassionate when you have a right conduct in your life. And of course, it is going to give you a bright scope for your mental well being, as well as for upliftment in every sphere of life. Then we come to love, one of the most precious emotion, we can say, that has affected the subconscious mind of every human being. Whether it is a spontaneous reaction, or you can call it a pure reaction, it is something that comes out of our heart in natural way. When we talk about love, it is not just about some set of people that are more closely associated to our life. This feeling is associated to, we can say, associated to nature, prakriti, जो सब कुछ बनाती है. The existence of nature derives this love. If you move out someday from the busy streets of cities, you go into nature and you observe things very peacefully over there. Just sit down, stop taking selfies, stop taking photographies, stop making videos, and just sit calmly and see through the nature. You will experience that love inside, and you will understand that how it is more pleasurable to be in association with nature, instead of just always being occupied in your own life, occupied in some noisy cities. Um, it is not that you have to come out of cities and then only you can experience that love. That is not true. Once you understand that feeling, you can feel that wherever you are. You just need that realization in your subconscious mind, that what is the real meaning of love and how it is going to affect your life. So that is a unconditional positive regard for everything that you have in your life. Some good relationships that you may have, some great opportunities that you have, some fruitful career you have, or your education, whatever you have had in your life, that is a kind of blessing that somehow we have obtained. Maybe our parents have worked hard and they have provided us a quality life. So, a love towards them, unconditional positive regard that we have for them, that they have sacrificed so much thing in their life and they have made us so successful today. Similarly, some great opportunities that you have in your life. You never know how many people play a role in building your life. If we start counting them, you will have a long list. And in the similar manner, you will also have a long list of people who have maybe threatened your life somehow, or maybe threatened your growth journey somehow, but you may still hold a regard for them because the threat they have created or the wrong situations that they have created in your life, that is why you found more courage to come out, and you found more ways to succeed in your life. All those negative and positive people are going to affect your life somehow, but how you consider that and how you give space to them in your life, that matters. And that defines how you understand love in your subconscious mind. Whether you have fear about some negative situations, or you can search happiness in everything that is happening around, or you take pleasure in well-being of others, and then you think about yourself. First you consider the well-being of others, and when you start thinking like that, that how I can be a good person for others, you will naturally find a good person in yourself, and that is going to make the major difference in your day-to-day life. Whenever we work on all the previous elements that I have already talked about, when we are truthful, when we follow right conduct, and when we share love with everything that we have around, it is automatically going to bring more peace to your life. The definition of happiness may vary for every person. That definitely depends on consequences of our life, whatever we have experienced till now, because I must say that human beings, each one of us, whatever we have in our mind at present time, it is somehow reflected by our past journey. We learn from different situations of our life, we experience so many things in every day, and that somehow builds our tomorrow. More important than that, whatever we experience in different phases of our life, that makes our thought process, and that thought process has to do so much in your entire life. Whatever you are learning from different situations, different scenarios, is going to lead your happiness and satisfaction. If you understand the value of peace, if you understand the value of that connection with your soul or with your conscience, you can automatically find more balance in your life, and you will automatically realize that this satisfaction is the true source of happiness. And how this satisfaction is derived, there are, for every person there may be a different degree of satisfaction, and we cannot measure that anyhow, but this is something that defines your character, and that connects you with people around, as well as that connects you with yourself. And once you feel connected with yourself instead of with the outer world, the first connection that you have to make is with your soul or with your conscious. Once you have developed that connection, it will start guiding you. So all the elements that play important roles in our life, they will be automatically drived in. Once you start following the guidance of your soul, the guidance of your conscious, and you start developing a positive thought process for all the ups and downs. Because even if you look at your past experiences, some past critical situations that you might have experienced, you will realize some way that although at that time it was a bad phase, we can say, or a negative consequence, but that scenario helped me to learn this thing. And after a long journey from that negative consequence or that negative situation, today I realize that it has helped to shape my life in a better way, because everything that happens in our life has a purpose. The fact is that we just fail to realize that purpose on time. And when we realize, we understand that whatever has happened in the past, that was for good. because it helped us to become a better human being today. But the fact is that the important thing is that how soon you realize that. And this time delay between experiencing that situation and realizing that it was for good, that depends upon how we think, what our thought process is, and how we deal with positive and negative thoughts. Once we start developing a balance in our mind, we will automatically start finding the positiveness associated to certain negative consequence. We start understanding that how things are happening and where they may be leading us, and it automatically derives a right conduct. We start learning that how we need to make decision in a particular situation. So these were five important elements that we have talked about in this session. But there are many other things that you may need to keep in mind. So we will be discussing for few more aspects now, because so many people are also connected. We can also have a discussion on this aspect. There are so many things that you may have in your mind. We will have discussion on that. You can put something in your chat box also, or you can turn on your mic also. In the meanwhile, I will be talking about several aspects, so we can have a discussion whenever you wish to. So as we are talking about how these ethics, values, and morals play role in our life, so I must say that this learning start from a very childhood. When a kid start observing his parents, they start observing the society or the family members, they start learning their ethics, values, and morals, how everyone is reacting. So that is why I always say that we as a teacher, we are guiding so many students. Consciously or unconsciously, we are creating examples in front of a new generation every time. And how we create that example, how well we behave in front of those people, and how we react in different situations, they are going to learn that thing. So not just being a teacher, not just being a parent, as a human being, what you reflect in the society, what you reflect in front of people, that is going to make a major difference. And similarly, when we talk about maybe technical education to which we all are connected, so whatever we are going to teach to our student, we already know that those students are going to take different positions throughout country or maybe in the outside world. Engineers from our country are serving in many MNCs, they are serving in many foreign positions, they are going to abroad and they are working over there. So, whatever they may be reflecting at their work profile tomorrow will be somewhere what we as a teacher have taught them today, because we are connected to them. They spend their entire day around teachers in association of variety of members in some educational organizations, and whatever they are going to see there, that is going to guide their life cycle somehow. And it is similarly necessary for every human being, because they are also associated to some new generation. Somehow we are somehow we are reacting as a parent at home, or we may be associated to kids, like our sisters and brothers who are younger than us, or maybe some other relations that we have in our life, or maybe whenever we are visiting our families, our friends. So we are dealing with variety of generations over there, and in front of them what we are doing, that is developing their behavior also. So the first thing that we have in mind or we need to keep in our mind is that how we need to improve ourselves, because once we are trying to become a good human being and we somehow try to succeed in that, then only we can help other students. If we are doing some wrong things every day, we are not able to correct others. Because again, that point comes that if you do not follow right conduct, you cannot look into the eyes of other people with that confidence, because you know that I have done this thing wrong somewhere, and you have a fear that someone may point a finger at me because I have done this thing wrong somewhere. So once you come, or once you step out of that fear and you start grooming your personality with these essential elements of your life, then you can create some positive examples for others as well. And while working on these things, as a human being, we should start providing some assistance to the students. We should, maybe we should start creating some brainstorming sessions for them. We should start creating some short debate sessions for them. Because the first thing as a teacher you need to do is you need to understand the current mindset of your student. You need to understand where they are going. It is not just about teaching them whatever is mentioned in your curriculum, what is mentioned in your syllabus, but as a teacher we are also responsible to make their thought process, and how that thought process is developed, that is going to make a great difference. So in order to make that, or in order to derive that thought process in a positive manner, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to understand what those students are thinking at the current level. So the good thing is that if we start uh, connecting those students in some groups, and we start observing them through some brainstorming sessions, or we start observing them through some debates or discussions on some life changing topics, not just on technologies, not just on what is mentioned in their curriculum, but on life skills, on some personal life related topics, like what they think about ethics, what are their opinions about these morals. First try to understand their opinion, and then you will understand what problems they may be facing, or what are the best ways to guide them further. Until and unless we are not aware about how our students are growing, or whatever they may have in their mind, we cannot provide them solutions. So it is, although challenging for organizations where we have hundreds of students in a class, teachers may find it difficult to understand the perspective of life for every individual student. But somehow, if we start nurturing these practices in day to day life, even if we give only 10-15 minutes to those students every day, or maybe we can create some special sessions weekly basis for them, where they can have discussions on their life perspectives. So then teachers can start understanding opinions of their students, and they can realize it on time if they are going in wrong direction. And based on that, you can guide them further, you can help them to build their character, and you can help them to understand the different perspective for life. And definitely it will lead their future in a better manner, and they can have more confidence on whatever they may be experiencing, whether it is positive scenario or it is a negative scenario that they are experiencing in their life. So for everything, they will have more confidence if they understand that thing with a positive perspective. Along with this, what we can do is, as a teacher, what we can start doing is, we can give them some situations, like you might have observed those type of situations when we have some interviews in companies. They give you some real time situations where you have to react, and you have to show them that how you can work on those particular problems. So they just create some scenarios, some false scenarios from the organization, and then they ask the candidates to solve them with their abilities. So that is why we can often see that most of the students have in their resume that problem solving skill. They usually try to write them over there. But as a teacher on the school level or at the college level or university level also, we can indulge them in some problem solving tasks, and those problems need not to be technical only. We can start guiding them with some real life scenarios and try to see their understanding about how they can deal with those situations, or how they can have a positive or negative mindset in association to variety of things that they might be experiencing in their life. So we can just try to create some experiences to them based on the different consequences that we are having. So those situations can be derived from our maybe we can say our college life, or it can be derived from our social life, or those situation can be based on some family lives. And at the same time, it is possible to indulge parents also in that continuous learning process. So maybe you can have in parents teacher meetings that most of the colleges try to create, although in some colleges where students come to visit or maybe to attend from larger distances, because many engineering colleges don't have students from local areas only, they have students from various distant places also. So maybe it is not possible to call their parents for some specific meetings, but yes, you can connect to them maybe on some specific days through online meetings that we already have a very variety of options for. And we can discuss if the students are uh, having good perspective for these ethics and values, etc., or how they may be behaving in their uh, family life, or what challenges we might be facing. Because growing a next generation has something to do with upbringing that parents are providing, and the upbringing or the opportunities that teachers are providing. So they have to work somewhere like a single unit also. They need to share their opinions if what type of changes they may be experiencing in students. So if you feel that some student is having a critical issue with the mindset they have, or that may be threatening somewhere in their life, so you can discuss with their parents also, and maybe you will get some feedback that how you together can deal with the particular mindset that student is having. The idea is to shape their career, to shape their personal life, and as well as their knowledge in right direction, so that they can do something valuable in their entire life. Similarly, if we talk about these ethics in case of research areas, so there also these ethics play an important role. So students or the researchers in present day need to realize that whenever they are working on publications, whenever they are working on their research work, there are some ethics involved in that as well. They need to understand that they should not copy research ideas or implementations or the writing from existing research papers or thesis content or whatever is available online these days. Because you might have seen that several researchers just try to replicate whatever is already present in existing research papers. So that is another important part where ethics play important role. Although there are several regulations, although several protocols has been designed by different journals or the publishing agencies, that they keep on checking the plagiarism, etc., but somehow the first thing that we should do to avoid these type of ethical mistakes is to guide students on these aspects. They need to understand that research is not just about replicating things from the existing publications or from existing works that are available in literature. Rather, they need to work with their own idea, although they can take references from different platforms. They can try to understand the scenarios or the technical problems in better manner with the help of books or with the help of some tutorials that are available on different platforms. But yes, they should not go outside the ethical boundaries that are defined for research. It is also important to mention, because you many of you might have associated to researchers, that several publishing houses these days have started using, although plagiarism softwares were already available over there, but now they are using rephrasing softwares also. So whenever students try to submit a paper that is just a rephrased version of already existing paper, that can be instantly detected by those softwares. And on the basis of that report, the students who have submitted paper may be facing some serious troubles based on those ethical protocols that publishing houses has to follow. So many time papers get retracted just because of this issue, or many time papers get rejected just because of this rephrasing issue. And how this rephrasing issue starts is when we do not follow ethical guidelines for research and for publications. If you have your own idea in research, and if you know how to bring it to the rest of the world, it is not required to replicate anything from anywhere, because you have your own set of findings, you have your own set of experimentation that you have done. So those ethical protocols you can easily follow. But when you are not following ethical ways to conduct your research, and you are just doing it for the sake of degree, just for the sake of uh, fulfilling university guidelines to publish some papers, it is automatically going to create some ethical threats for your research as well as for your publications, and you may find it challenging to deal with. There are several scenarios I have, because I am associated to several publishing houses such as Springer and elsewhere, etc. I am a continuous reviewer with them. So I have seen several scenarios where student get their papers published, but after a month or after 2 months their papers get retracted, and that retraction leads to major trouble. And why those papers get retracted? Either due to a plagiarism issue or due to rephrasing issue. These are two common issues that are causing so many retractions in some reputed journals as well, because several students try to write their papers with rephrasing softwares. And when you try those rephrasing softwares, they are going to just create a replicated content that is not useful for the community. But on the other side, when we talk about a quality research, it should give some contribution to the scientific community, and it should be useful for the future researchers as well. And in order to do that, we need to follow that ethical boundary. We need to follow those protocols that define a good quality research. So we must say that in case of research and publishing process as well, this ethics has to play an important role, and we should always be careful about this. And similarly, in case of our job profile, or we can say when we enter some company or some organization, there also these ethics, values and morals have to play an important role, because several times we experience situation where we are asked to do something wrong. Maybe some other person is using influence of their power or their position, and we may be derived to do something wrong which our soul does not permits. So how you react in that situation and how you deal with that scenario, that matters a lot. Because maybe if you try to escape from that situation one time by just doing whatever they have said, and you just conclude that, chances are that in future also such type of people will keep on approaching you, and you will be bound to do that type of things time and again. And the Side effect of this is that it starts developing in our mindset slowly, and we become a person who we have never thought of becoming, just because of that influence in which we live, just because of that scenario that we have keep on experiencing while being in that corporate life. But in this situation also, you need to develop a strong mindset about how you have to keep yourself clean, and how well you can deal with those troublesome situations that can grab your legs inside, or that can maybe put you in a wrong, or we can say unethical situation in long run. Because maybe for 1 year, for 2 year, no one knows that what you have done, but chances are that someday you will be stuck in a situation where everything comes out, and you put your entire career, your job, everything on stake. The best idea for this is you learn to be conscious, you try to understand what your instinct is telling you, and when you are connected with your conscious, it is definitely going to guide you that what is wrong and what is right in a particular situation, and you can act accordingly in that particular phase. And it will definitely help you to avoid some critical consequences that are otherwise very much harmful for all of us. And of course, when we do any such wrongful act due to the influence of certain position or power, we are going to create some poor scenarios for someone in the society or in the community. But being a citizen of country, or being a responsible person, we should be always careful about what we are doing to others, because everything that we are throwing out in the form of some decisions, in the form of some actions, or in the form of thoughts, that is somehow going to return to us someday. We often have heard that there is an echo point in this universe, and that echo point keep on reflecting everything with multiple times. So whatever we send outside, that someday comes to us multiplied by several times. If we are spreading happiness around, it is going to return to us somehow, some way, at some day, because that echo point is reflecting everything. Whether we talk in scientific terms or whether we talk in spiritual term, things are connected. Whatever actions we are taking in our day to day life, they are going to create our future, and they are going to reflect something back to us. So what you want to get reflected into your life, accordingly you should behave, accordingly you should take decisions in your life. If you want to ensure that you have positive reflections, because you don't know how, what kind of scenarios, what kind of situations you may face in future. Maybe today we are well settled, we are in a good position, or we have good power and we can do anything, but we don't know what may happen in future. The only thing that will stay with us is our internal peace and the right conduct that we have followed throughout our life. And if we have a good hold on that internal peace, and we are better connected with our conscious, we can take balanced decisions in every situation, when even if there are some critical consequences involved. And these scenarios are automatically going to be helpful for the people that are connected to us, or depending upon our position, how other persons may be affected with our decisions. So everything is going to be balanced once you are balanced inside. So it starts from us. We don't have to change others, rather we have to improve ourselves first. So our first goal should be what we are today, tomorrow we have to be better than that. Every day you should start your journey with a thought that I have to improve myself. What I was yesterday, I have to be better than that today. Not just in terms of your work only, not just in terms of your relationships only, but your internal growth also matters. And you have to be very much careful about how you connect with the surroundings and how you reflect that back inside your thoughts. If you start getting stuck with the situations around, and it slowly starts damaging or affecting your thought process as well, so it may get difficult for you to make decisions when you are in those ups and downs of life. But once you learn to understand that a particular situation, how it is going to be associated to my life and how it is going to affect the people who are around me, once you start creating difference between your actions and how those things are going to affect your personal life as well as life of people around, then you will start thinking about making right decisions also. It is about being aware, developing awareness within you. And once you start developing that awareness, it will automatically start spreading happiness around. And when we start circulating those positive thoughts, it is naturally going to lead to upliftment of everyone around us. Not just about us, it is about everyone who is connected to us. And this chain reaction keeps on spreading. When we are holding a positive mindset and we are having positive energy in our life, we are automatically going to spread that around. And you might have seen that we have some toxic people in also in our life, and we have some positive people also in our life. So what you feel when you are around some toxic people? You start feeling some stress, you start experiencing some negative energies, and you often have a thought that I should run away from this person, to maybe to save my mental health, or maybe to get rid of those negative energies. But on the other side, when we are associated to some positive people, or we are just chatting with them, or we are talking to them, we are having some discussions with them, we feel a positive energy in ourselves also. So this is how this chain reaction works. So what you feel with those positive and those toxic people, in the same manner you should think about yourself also, that how you may be behaving to others, whether other people find you toxic or whether other people find you positive. So that energy, first of all, you need to channelize from yourself. And that journey starts with awareness. When you are aware about yourself, when you are aware about what type of thoughts you are nurturing inside, and once you start eliminating those positive and negative thoughts, you know the power of positive thoughts, and you know also the power of negative thoughts, because negative thoughts are also going to have certain power. Once you learn to differentiate between power of positive and negative thoughts, you will automatically be able to nurture the positive ones, because those negative ones are not just affecting your own life, but the energy cycle that you are spreading around to the people who are associated to you. So you might have observed that when you are in some tough situation maybe, or you have experienced a bad day at workplace, you take that energy to your home also, and it sometimes create a troublesome situation at home also, whether it is with your family members, with your kids, your wife, or anyone that you have in your close association. So how you channelize that energy further, you can observe from those situations. So once you learn to channelize positive energies, you will feel that difference. And how that positive energy starts circulating, it starts with your those five elements that we have already talked about: truth, right conduct, love, peace, and a consequence that you deal with with complete balance in your mind. Once you have a hold on all these elements, you start reflecting positive energies around, and those things are going to make your life definitely more brighter, more happier, and you will have a much efficient, or we can say more fruitful cycle of life. So I think this is all we should have talked about within this session about ethics, values, and morals. So if we have anything to discuss, or you any feedback if you have regarding this session, we can have that in chat box, or you can turn on your mic and we can talk about that.